Yep, it starts. Yep, it starts. Yep.
Just 30 minutes long, so don't worry. Shall we start?
Hey, we start when you start.
Okay, so
I'm reprising a talk that I gave in September at Carnegie Mellon University. There's an academic tradition called the last lecture. Hypothetically, if you knew you were going to die and you had one last lecture, what would you say to your students? Well, for me, there's an elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is that for me, it wasn't hypothetical. I've been fighting pancreatic cancer. It has now come back after surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. And the doctors tell me there's nothing more to do and I have months to live. These are my most recent CT scans. The pancreatic cancer has spread to my liver. There are approximately a dozen tumors. I don't like this. I have 3 little kids. Let's be clear, this stinks. But I can't do anything about the fact that I'm going to die. I'm pursuing medical treatments, but I pretty much know how this movie is going to end. And I can't control the cards I'm dealt, just how I play the hands. Now, if I'm not morose enough for you, I'm sorry to disappoint, but I don't choose to be an object of pity. And in fact, although I'm going to die soon, I'm actually physically very strong. In fact, I'm probably physically stronger than most of the people in this audience. So, today's talk is not about death. It's about life. And
so for me, that's it. You know, you just come to America and see all these people like producing like crazy. Like it's just this anxiety, this hurry. And then actually, in São Paulo is kind of the same. It's just a very anxious life because we want to do good, right? We want to do good. But I don't know. And then I'm having trouble to sleep lately. Like last 5 days, I'm so tired that I fall asleep. I just feel worried, and then I cannot sleep just because of that. Just because I remember, like, oh shit, I should have sent that to Rob Wanamaker. Oh shit, I didn't apply for that thing. Oh shit, and it's just like, even the laundry is bothering me. Because, so it's just, I don't know. It's kind of silly. And then I just tried a way that I find to fall asleep. Because then I start thinking, okay, just sleep so tomorrow you work. And then I start getting a little bit anxious because I cannot fall asleep. And then I have to fall asleep fast. So next week, and then like 45 minutes has passed and then I didn't fall asleep yet. And then it just, the way I find to fall asleep is like, I just fall like I think very deeply like I'm gonna die. Just everybody's gonna die in 100 years, more or less. Like everybody's gonna be dead. Everybody I know, everything is gonna be dead. Like in 100 years, everything.
Yeah, right? I have the last leg.
So that calms me down somehow. I just think of death very deeply. Try to imagine dying.
I'll have
what
the
is
last
to die?
laugh in the
And
end.
that's gonna be the end, right? That calms me down. Yeah.
Because I'm from Oaxaca, Czechoslovakia.
And
yeah, I'll have the last laugh in the end. Because I'm from Oaxaca, Czechoslovakia.
So, with composing for me, it's more or less the same thing.
Yeah,
people procrastinate to compose, right? They procrastinate composition, I clean my desk, I do everything it takes to procrastinate that act.
Underestimate the importance of having fun.
But compose is like, I just think I'm gonna die and then I can compose, so because I just let it go.
Because I'm from Oaxaca,
If you want to achieve your dreams,
Anyway, That's my very deep thought about
Second thing,
composition.
when you
It's-
apologize, there are a lot of bad
It's
apologies in America.
it's just
A good
it's
apology
not
is
getting
great.
more things done. It's
Oh,
just
5.7.
realizing there's no point in doing
5.7,
anything.
and
So
that
you
was the
just
last lab.
no, never mind. Just don't do anything, and then after that you feel
5.7.
overcome.
That's how you
And
know.
then maybe you can get and do something,
I'm from Old Chapel.
right? And
So I guess we basically talk
need to
non-stop.
do that.
I mean,
to go to groceries.
we
I
basically
need to
talk.
go
We
to
basically
Bank of America.
talk non-stop.
Go to Starbucks and stop.
I mean, we in the sentence
I need
deals with
to
the
think
characters
how-
who play
how
until they're
things
no
are
longer
without
played by any
thinking so
means
much,
whatsoever, in which
without
case they
overthinking.
cease to act as
So I
they,
can have this
in which case they can no longer be
attitude,
designated
and, you know,
but you know, as they,
I have
but
just an attitude.
rather in the
Then
possession
I'm
of
getting
the possessive
older, and then
becomes
I
rather
just, I
up for
don't know, I'm
grabs.
just,
As
it's just
if,
a
you know,
terrible thing
somewhere
to be
around to
older
grab it, you know, by any
sometimes.
means, by
And I just
by
need to
certain things,
stop.
I guess, you know, grab them. I mean, grab the go and the start and the stop. I guess when you know
I
talk about
guess
the,
I have to
the
talk
management
here,
of
and I need
forms
to,
in which
to
the
look at
processes
stopwatch.
of the forming
So
of
it's
managers
very
becomes
hard
an
because I
issue.
need to be
You know, one has to
really
start
need to
dealing
look
with the
into
managers
stopwatch.
as if the forms
And
themselves
because I need to have the
we're
control,
not part
like
of the
I need to
equation
manage
such
the
that,
time.
you know, becomes a manifest
Manage
number
this time,
of stops.
and it's very hard.
The whole population lived as if in a large family. Functionaries, delegates, secretaries, syndicates, members of the council all saw. Emmanuel Monnier,
So I should have triggered that before.
oh yeah,
actually.
you're right.
That was too, like we were talking very frenetic, like very, like, and this was there. Right, that was the idea. Yeah, but I didn't have time to prepare much, right? So of course, it's a tradition. My traditions always I apologize. That's a part of my thing, right? And then I do the joke like, oh, my time is a little slower. I'm a little slower. You see, it's not my fault. I have my own rhythm. I cannot be like all speedy.
I mean, the
and
action
efficient.
of the surrounding bodies is exerted upon the brain by the intermediary of
anyway,
the sense organs.
But
And the
this
brain and
apology
extensive
is
sensation
supposed to
and
take 2
perceptions
minutes.
are elaborated. If you think about the perceptions
No.
that presumably
So I
projected
have-
outward by consciousness over and
So
over,
it just.
one comes to
But
see
basically,
that
I'm doing the lecture on this
the
because
kind
I feel
of time that is
like
at
there is
play
a problem
is
I
no
have with
longer
Roxanne.
playing in a certain way,
Once
but
she
that
told me
it's
like,
the
you're already in your
watching
30s.
of
That
the play of the time that
Truly,
allows
she was
one
very
to be able
angry
to see
because I don't have my shit
the
together.
particular mode of
Right?
watching then becomes the
And-
form that it becomes the subject on the table, you know, really. If you compare the physiology that
And then I
shows,
invited
you know,
him
something
because I
different
think
as
he
you
would
think
give
about
more
the
flow.
way that you
You give somehow
present something in a sort of
He's
a
very,
different
seems to
platform,
be very
becomes then less and
efficient,
less
very
intelligible
good.
of you know,
I
going
really
deeper
like-
and deeper within the topic at hand. And you know, you want to stop, but then you don't, because it's you have to kind of think about like, well, if you stop, then the realm of time is kind of altered in a certain way that you have to start back into the introduction. If you start at the introduction, then the creative mind has to kind of work overtime into an overdrive in a certain way that references the initial point of the atmosphere. The atmospheric pressure of the concept, if you give it that, if you give the concept at play, if you give it a certain play, a form of play, you know, because it's all about forms, you know, music is music, you know, but, you know, like it has to do with, in the end, in the very end, you know, when you start laughing, the form is, it kind of comes back down into the forms, I think. But then you would go back to see, okay, there's a form, then you kind of go back to seeing, then you seek the vision. The psychophysiological relation between the vision of seeing. If you see, then you're not longer focused on the vision, but if you focus on the act of seeing, then you continue to talk until the 10-minute mark. The action of surrounding bodies is exerting upon the brain by the intermediary of the sense organs. And the brain, in extensive sensation toward the perceptions, become elaborated to a certain extent. If you compare the time that we're talking about, you know, 9:21 right now, if we talk about the 9:21 versus the 8:30 mark, then you kind of see, well, yeah, it is sort of like in a similar dimension, you know, that you're kind of talking about the linear scale of comparative like analysis. But if you think about the forms, like I was talking about like 40 seconds earlier, then you kind of start to see then the form's no longer about the form, but it's forming, in a certain way. But the forming then creates a sort of learning, maybe like a certain learning process of sorts. Does that make sense?
I got lost. But it was now it's silence. Which is silence.
How is it that we have more tips and tricks, tools and technology, calendars and checklists than ever before, and yet we still always seem to be behind? How is it that we work longer hours, we're moving faster than we've ever moved in history, and yet we never seem to be caught up? How is it that we know more about time management today, and yet stress is at an all-time high? The reason why is because everything you know about time management is wrong. There is no such thing as time management. You can't manage time. Time continues on whether we like it or not. So there is no such thing as time management. Really, there is only self-management.
So, but in the end, I think you just need to be, just get organized and have some. I think to do is help, actually.
I'm gonna have the last laugh in the end.
I just think you had to be a little like it's good to just be objective. I have been thinking that I have had like there's this Google Keep. It's a very nice thing. Google app is a Google app. It helps me a lot, and I think you just need to be organized. That's what I have been thinking. It's just very simple. It's not very existential.
If you think of the application of the pluralistic universe,
and all this kind of thought art, it's
I
just
think some
like
of
it's
William
just
James' most mature statements on metaphysics then are found, within that kind of universe. If you ignore, which oftentimes gets ignored, the crucial role of belief, in the final
again,
position.
if you. It's very easy to get distracted, even with philosophy. I know philosophy is great, art is amazing, I love art.
The very
sometimes it's just,
thing at hand,
I think,
you kind of like, wow.
For me, actually, I don't tell anyone, but it's just being pragmatical. Basically, almost all the time I can.
Yeah,
and
I think almost the more time you waste, the more beautiful it becomes. In a certain way, because if you're engaged,
it works for poetics.
Reality,
but I have been like that, and it's just gone nowhere.
But not the wasting of time, but
when you have a weak card and you start thinking about
where, oh man, I got all the time in the world, like, this is great, I'm on a beach.
That doesn't work.
And
I know.
Like the waves, the waves are hitting the shore, and like you just kind of look at the bird, and birds fly. Like, what kind of time is the bird, experiencing in that particular pluralistic
So you don't get
universe?
anything done, basically.
And the more you kind of look at the bird, it just kind of like you almost have this sort of like.
It's even sometimes it's tiring being failing all the time. It's just it's a little easier just to win
all the time that we want.
Do the thing. Just program yourself. Just don't be so inspired. Or something like that, or like, I want this, I want just be like a software.
It's so good. I don't get, do you know what I mean? Like it's so good. It's like really good. The beauty of life.
I don't know, it's just like, it's such a mediocre thing. In the, yeah, because you're just like glorifying yourself because you're wasting time, you're living poetically.
And it's like, man, you don't even have to
You know,
worry
in
about.
the end, if Trump is gonna win, and then you're gonna be, all your talk is gonna be like, or even,
just with
I shouldn't
your
even be
times
talking
or
about
words.
that, but. But I think it's very, like, if I had to say something about time management, it's just get it organized, just do that.
I mean, like the divisions have to do with like compartmentalization, I think. Yeah, I mean, like there's a time to be funny, and there's time to be serious, and time to kind of isolate, maybe segregate, maybe compartmental, maybe divide, maybe separate forever, maybe genreification is the answer, where we sort of
So
just
to
like
organize,
outline
you do have to
things.
compartmentalize. It's very important to do
At least it
that.
sells, right? I mean, you go to the record
It's just,
store and
it's
you
not
see,
violence,
that's
it's
feature film.
like,
Okay, this is
when you
not-
stop reading
okay, well,
Foucault a
this is
little
70s
bit,
film.
you
Oh,
just
this is 60s film. And
feel a
then,
little more,
why don't we just kind of let things be themselves, 65 to 60, and you kind of think of that as
Just-
future, and Afrofuturism is separate from, psychedelic.
Divisions exist. it's fine.
If it's on the internet, then maybe you should put it in a certain compartment, whereas if it's, only on vinyl, only on, kind of like MP3s or whatnot, then I usually can't see the timer, so I don't know when to turn the lights back up, but I'll just kind of keep going. But it's, I think, again, we have become isolated in a certain way. We've become kind of segregated. We've become, what's the other word, compartmentalized. Where I'm standing, you're sitting, you have hair, I don't. You're drinking water, I'm not sure.
I was organized
And
to
so
bring
we
my
kind of are separate in that sort of way, And you can tell me once I guess, I have to get the cue later, but I think then, if we think of, United States, like there's like a plural, right, pluralistic.
So we began by having everybody come in. We started at 9,
We took attendance.
9:05.
9:05?
10.
Well, we said we would start at 9:05.
Yeah, 30 minutes, doesn't matter when you start. So I had this monologue in the beginning. Well, I think it was going well in the beginning.
I think so, yeah.
I think
What
in
happened?
some moments it was good.
In some moments?
Yeah, some moments.
I think the
were
first
really
couple of minutes were pretty good. I mean, like, at
No.
3 minutes we started, well, you started.
So the
video
first
and then-
cue is 5 minutes that we need to say several things and then stop,
Right.
right? Stop.
Yeah, the 20
That
statements.
was first.
How many
and then-
statements did you get through?
I don't know. And then after I say sorry, right, for
Well,
not
that was
being
the part,
there.
that was the part where we kind of
Yeah.
felt like.
Sorry. And then after that,
I think when you start laughing or when I start laughing, that's when we kind of felt funny.
and then we had this, what was that
What
after?
happened? Well, did I
There was
get-
that minimalist piano, like you reading this kind of thing.
Is that G minor?
And then, actually, there was an image of a train that it was
Oh.
covered by the watch that I forgot to take.
Oh.
And then,
Was that before the timer difference
And then we started disagreeing because I was trying to say be organized and
Oh,
you
that was
say
a
waste your
big
time.
part, yeah.
And then we decided to recapitulate in 2 minutes.
Right, yeah.
We are ahead.
Well, we're still, yeah, we're pretty good. I thought it would take more than 2 minutes, I guess we'd be pretty
Yeah,
good.
because I'm
Yeah.
being very upset.
You're very, I think that's interesting. I feel like when we first started working together, like, it was interesting because you're the one that had all the times, like, I thought, like, with,
Yeah, I always feel I'm a mess, so I organize.
you're way more organized than I am. I mean, like, look at my life.
But I very messy.
Oh.
So
So messiness
maybe my
is-
organization is a little, we can turn on the lights, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, can somebody hit the lights, please?
And then when I was 8 years old, I wrote all the times in the day, and then I would do everything that particular time.
Really?
And then when something was wrong, like by 5 minutes, and I would just watch television until the end of the day. And then start over next day fresh. And that's why actually I don't have any television at home, because I watched so much television. Because by 2:30, 3 in the afternoon, I would already have screwed up something, and then I would just condemn myself to watch television till the end of the day so I can start next day and do it right.
Wow.
And my parents didn't know that. It was very strange. I actually, because I had this teacher who had a retarded, I don't know how to say that, her child has a problem. And then she wanted all the normal kids to be super, because she was very angry with that thing. And she just gave me, I cannot blame her,
Yeah.
but I was feeling pressured by her to be organized. And now, like Roxanne reminds me of her. Roxanne is nice. I just using her name just to make a joke. It's not a big deal. It's fine. It's not a big deal. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And you, I thought you were super organized. I don't know if it's, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you're
it was
so
great. It was really
efficient.
hard putting this together because, like, you had all these times, and I felt like actually very restrained, and it's almost like
It's not
well,
restrained.
I think it has to do with TV because I didn't grow up with TV, and I wasn't allowed to watch TV. We had like 2 channels.
But you're
It was either
very
Saved by the
organized,
Bell
right?
or
You
what.
get everything done, and you.
Yeah, because I mean, I didn't make the plan. Like my mom made the plan, and like I followed it.
You're very organized,
Well,
right? You
yeah,
get
no, 'cause
everything done.
That's the thing, yeah. And so I almost like have too much time on my hands, and so I ended up.
You're
like,
very organized, right? You get everything done.
Yeah. I mean, like I just kind of just have this timetable, and then I'm done by like 4 p.m. So I'm kind of like the opposite of you.
You're very organized, right?
Yeah, I mean, like pretty much, like where. Yeah, my mom would be like, "Oh man, did you do this? Okay, did you eat your whatever? Did you do this? Did you practice piano 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day? Okay, well, and then NBA finals is on, I'm like still practicing, and then like somehow I felt like I developed a multitask kind of survival method, in a way where you can kind of like soak in the TV and get your practice done. And so I think I became like very interested in like maximalizing. It was like, how can you get your biggest bang for the buck? How can you get your biggest bang for the buck? How can you get your biggest bang for the buck? How can you get
Yeah.
your biggest bang for the buck? Like, how can you so I only got 1 kid.
Yeah.
So I only got 1 kid. So I only got 1 kid.
I wish I could have the technique to laugh is exactly,
This is really
exactly
awkward.
like. Pretty awkward.
50 seconds to go.
Really bizarre. We have to do like this.
So I really got boundaries.
Um,
Running out of lines, real friends. You don't know what I'm saying, do you?
This is supposed to be awkward.
Yeah.
Eric Bell, Arches, Sarah Clarkson.
Time-wise. Because I think we get it as well. Of course, that's the more subtle, like the side tone. These are gonna be totally. I guess so. We do want that. So it's white, have a relationship with white. 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 Relate to that.
No, it's just Laura, Ari, Patrick, Sharjah, Major. Diego, Hayden, Sarah, Jesse, Clark.
Today.
You're so right. That we could both do. I bet would.
Thank you for coming.
Go hit a couple balls.
What?
You coming?
It's like so hard to like
Yes.
talk to. You have been someone else to talk to.
It's an hour long, it's all time.
Yeah.
And then we're
We finished.
Yeah.
Like you were in the class.
I don't know what it will be.
That, like, there were fairly